Alright guys, so today I am filming a little draw with me. As you can see, I'm just sketching out the face details, and I was looking at a reference photo while I did this. And then I'm getting straight into it. So this drawing is colored pencil. It's actually the first time that I've ever done anything in colored pencil before. And I knew going into it that I wanted to use lots of purple and pink, just because I felt like all of the colors in my colored pencils were purple and pink for some reason. So that's what I'm doing, and then I decided to add some yellow as the blend, and then I kind of just was going with the flow basically, and doing lots of shading, using the purples and pinks, and I was switching back and forth between about 20 different colors, lots of shades of purple, lots of shades of pink, lots of like wine kind of colors like grapes and stuff like that. And I'll put more info in the description box about like the specifics of what colors I used. And I was using a dark green and like a charcoal black kind of color. It wasn't full on black though, it was more of like a gray, smoky gray color. And green, I was using those for like the areas that I wanted to be extremely dark, so the eyelashes, the pupils, etc. And so this first portion of the video is sped up pretty fast. And as you can see, I was just doing lots of shading. This actually took me about, what we're watching right now. This actually took me about 3 hours, just to get to this point. So for the most part, I'm just doing lots of blending, as you can see, and always keeping in mind the rainbow, if that makes any sense. So, I can't go straight from purple to yellow because it won't blend well, so, I have to go purple, pink, orange, or I would say purple, reddish wine color, then pink, then a peach color, then orange, then yellow. So that's like really what I was doing, and I was going back and forth between different shades of purple to darken and deepen up the areas that were basically like contour. So the shadow areas around the forehead, around the eyes, cheekbones, under the lip, etc. And then I was going in with this really pale yellow color, as you can see here, and going back and forth between that and a brighter yellow color. While I was drawing this, I actually got a massive headache because, although it's not that bright on camera, it's super bright in person, and like the yellow was embedded in my mind. Like it hurt when I closed my eyes. I could still see all of the yellow areas. So here I am just working on the ear, and I'm just doing the same thing as I did with the face, and as I will continue to do with the rest of her body, which is just blending, again, purple to pink to yellow. I think what made a really big difference in the way that the blending looked was taking the yellow all the way to the purple. So whenever I went in with yellow, I kind of colored over everything that was already there, and it, in a sense, added like a yellow hue over, all of the previous colors, and made everything look a lot more cohesive. So if you ever do something like this, I definitely recommend to take whatever color it is that you use. If it's yellow, just take it and do a kind of a wash of that color over all of the previous colors, and it will make everything blend a little bit more seamlessly. Alright, so I know that a lot of people are probably going to watch this just because it's really relaxing to watch. So I'm just going to pop in if I feel like there's something I need to clarify. Alright, so here I am kind of sketching out what I wanted her hair to look like. I did her hair in a bun, and I started off doing it blue, but I didn't like the way that the blue looked. So then I kind of just added a whole bunch of different colors until I got something that I liked. And you can see here that I'm just doing the blue, doing some greens, and then I ended up basically just going over everything with some different shades of red and pink. So when I got to this point, I realized that I wasn't fully in love with the way that the hair was turning out. So I decided to add some acrylic paint and create something that resembled I guess, a flower crown. And so since I did already color most of the areas, I first started off by adding a layer of white. I'm just trying to get that opaque as possible so that when I painted on top of that white, it wasn't like you could see, the colored pencil showing through. So the flowers were actually really hard for me to get a hang of. I started off by trying to do something like as you can see here, taking a dark color and kind of making an ombre towards the edges, going in with white, going in with a dark color. And then I remembered when I was really little, I watched this video, and I just remember it was like one stroke paintings, and they would draw, or they would paint lots of flowers using, you know, the one stroke technique, where they would put a little bit of you know, white on one side of the brush, and then the color that the petal would be on the other side of the brush, and then just do like one continuous stroke to make the petals. And so I started doing that after all of this. So I added the yellows. Again, I wasn't really in love with the way that anything looked at this point, and I just kind of kept working on it, going back and forth between different colors, the white, and then I started to kind of get the hang of it. And here is where you can see I start kind of adapting that one stroke technique. And as you can see, I cut a lot of footage out just because the flowers really took me a long time to get a hang of. And now you can fully see me going in with that one stroke technique, and it gives the petals and the flowers just a little bit more of a realistic feel. I'm not fully in love with the way that the flowers came out, but it really was the best that I could do, so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna leave it alone, because after a certain point I was like, I can't keep going back in and you know, continuing to paint over it. Alright, so once I got to this point, I was basically done with the painting portion of the flowers, and I decided to take some jewels that I had. They were actually earrings, but I took the backs off of them because I would never wear these earrings. I kind of just had them laying around, and I had a whole bunch of different colors. You can't see it really well, but I basically just glued the gems or rhinestones to the flower crown area, and then I went in and I actually had some gold leaf, and I went in and painted that on some of the edges of the petals as well. And as you can see, I'm just finishing up the body here and finishing all of that shading. And that's basically it. So I'm basically done here. I'm just adding a little bit of white to cover up some of the markings and mistakes that I made in the background. And that's basically it. I really hope that you guys found this as relaxing and enjoyable to watch as it was for me to paint. And I hope that I wasn't too boring, you know, just talking about what I was doing in the painting. or drawing. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, so in the future I'd love to share videos like this where I'm drawing and possibly talk about other topics. So leave some suggestions down below on what you think I should talk about or what you would like to see future videos about. And here's the final product. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it.